Thank you, Toastmaster Madahib. And now we'll be moving to the first section of the Toastmasters meeting, that is the prepared speech section, and we have 4 speeches for the day. For the first speech, I'd like to introduce to you a person who is in marketing profession, who loves to help people and is a passionate football fan. May I please call upon the stage Toastmaster Mayam. Posing to power. Posing to power, Toastmaster Mayam. The evaluator is Toastmaster Raghav. Can we have the speech purpose, please?
The purpose of your project is to present a speech on one topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback and introspect what you have changed the, like you have put that into effect like the speech.
I just don't listen to your words. I look into your face. I stare into your eyes. I look at your body language and I try to interpret your silence. Good evening, my friends, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'm Mayank and speaking on posing to power. Body language and the non-verbal cues is a very, very important factor of the entire communication gap. Research says that 55% of your entire communication happens through your body. That means that while you are sitting, perceptions are being made about you on the basis of your body postures. That also means that the way society and the ecosystem looks at you depends on your body posture. Body posture is nothing but an outcome or a consequence of the mental state. So let me give you an example. Usain Bolt, he's calm and steady. He starts running and he runs faster. He outruns all his opponents and wins the race and says, yeah! The expansive, open body form is a consequence of the thrilling mindset he possesses at that particular moment after he wins the race. Let's talk about Narendra Modi. Addressing a huge gathering of 1 lakh audience in Varanasi, and then he walks away with confidence. An expansive, open body posture. Again, a consequence of the amazing mental state he has after addressing 1,000 followers in Varanasi. Let's keep these thoughts aside for a while. How many of you, or rather how many of us, have bigger and better dreams in life? How many of you have dreams which you think you are not able to achieve right now, but you will definitely love achieving them in life? So a handful of you. All these dreams or results, what we aspire, are consequence of the actions which we do. And all our actions are governed by our emotional states. So, if you have fear or anxiety in your head, there is a likeliness that your actions will be influenced, which will deter you from reaching the results you want to achieve in life. Is there a way that you play with your emotional state? You consciously rub into your emotional state and influence the results which you want to achieve in life? The answer is yes. The Harvard study says that 25% incremental testosterone happens in case you deliberately get into some of the postures which are called as power positions or power postures. Getting into the power postures also leads to 20% decrease in the cortisol level, which is nothing but the stress hormone we possess. In this hectic daily life, there's a lot of stress which we incorporate from unknown factors. Getting into these power poses decreases your cortisol level by 20%. And an outcome of this increase in testosterone and reduce in cortisol, there is a 33% incremental likeliness that you will be able to take those actions which will lead to those desired results. So what are those power poses? I'm going to tell you and share with you the 3 power positions which you can try at various points of time in your life. Number 1, the Wonder Woman pose. Wonder Woman, the signature style of Wonder Woman was hands over the hips. The moment you do that, maybe before you address a public gathering or before you speak in front of an audience, you will see your confidence and power level of your mindset going up. And chances of you delivering a near perfect speech goes up. The second pose is called the performer pose. How many of you have seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody? Bohemian Rhapsody is on a character called Freddie Mercury, who is an Indian by the way. He was Parsi, an Indian, who made a global name for himself by the amazing rock which he did on stage. And his signature trademark style was this. Yes. The excitement which he had when he was on stage led him to these trademark positions. And that excited the entire crowd to vouch for him. The third and the final power position which I'm going to share is the CEO pose. And it is inspired by none other than Oprah Winfrey, the great public orator and the great talk show host. And her signature trademark was legs over the table, hands behind the head. Before any talk show, she will go to her room, silently get into these poses and think as to how she is going to conduct the entire talk show. So in life, yes, your body language is always an outcome of your mental state, but today we also learn that we are also able to influence our mental state if we get into certain power postures. So next time when you get into a public gathering, before you go there, before you ask out someone for a date, before you go for a job interview, try out one of those power positions and you will feel the difference in your mindset. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayor. I already feel much more enthused by doing the Wonder Woman pose and that makes me feel more confident on the stage. Moving on, we have the next speaker. He's a part of HSR Toastmasters Club, which is a very good club, by the way, guys. Do visit it sometimes if you get a chance. He's a Toastmaster since last 4 years, and he has recently started his Pathways journey. Can I please have on the stage Toastmaster Ishwar? Let's change. Let's change Toastmaster Ishwar. Toastmaster Ishwar, I'm your evaluator.
Oh, you are the evaluator.
Yes. So, you are giving your L1 B3 speech, which means it's a research speech. So your purpose of the speech is to give a well-researched speech on any topic of your choice. Timer, please note, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Please wait. Please wait. So, you are able to see my t-shirt?
Yeah.
So, what if I say this? What are we supposed to say?
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Let's try it. How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
2010. 2011, I think. Yeah. World Cup finals. Everybody were praying to get the World Cup as if they are playing. But me, I was preparing for my maths exam. 10th standard public examination. When my maths teacher told, Ishwar, you are definitely gonna fail. I was scared. I suddenly ran to my mom and said, Mom, my teacher told me to fail. And suddenly my mom said, Don't worry, I'll arrange you for a maths tutor. And that happened. I appeared in the examination and I scored 99 out of 100. Where India won the World Cup. It was mutual actually. Same way. 2012. I was into my 12th board examinations. The same way, only one subject, right, in 10th standard, which was maths. In this 12th standard, plus 2. So, economics as well as accountancy. So, accounts and economics was handled by one teacher. That's why the same teacher told me the same dialogue to me. You are never going to pass in accounts and economics. The same scenario happened. My mom also did the same thing, arranging a tutor. This time, I studied really hard to get sent up. The same way I did, I appeared in the examination and I scored 99 out of 200 in economics, but 198 out of 200 in accountancy. Then later in college, after all these things, when there was someone for you to help in any stage, being my mother, college was also an easy cakewalk for me. Studying, friends will take care. My friend who is sitting next to me will definitely help me in the examination. So I was obviously clear. I did not have any problem with that. Whereas, wait, did I say a cakewalk for me? No, I'm sorry. How did I forget about my love life in college? Sorry. So, every college guy or college girl will definitely come across a crush who would definitely fall into her. And I also went to the same cycle. A girl named Jessie. I forgot because she's my ex now. Yeah, she ditched me. I was totally depressed. I don't know what to do. And then I moved all my friends. I was sitting alone. And then came the final year. I cleared all the examinations. And I just want to move out of this city, of my hometown. I just moved to Coimbatore to do my MBA. Where first year was still, I was literally struggling due to depression and loneliness. You know, after that, coming out of that such lonely and a depressed feeling was a big task. It just took me 1 year to come out of it, just because of a break. India is the second most populated country in the world, where it is ranked 130th position in happiness, which has 65% of youth, which is humans who are 35 age and below. 133rd position in the world of happiness, people who are happy in the country. You know, what is the extreme cause of depression? Extreme cause of depression? National World Health Organization and National Institute of Mental Health has researched and launched a paper which states there are 3 major causes of a depression. Firstly, I'll make you understand what it is. They have named it in a different way. I'll just make you understand in a different way, which everybody will understand. First thing, what people think of us. Second, pressure. Third, less self-confidence. These are the 3 major causes of any depression. Nobody is in the world, any 10th standard children, when you take them outside, they would be competing with each other in what are the marks. They can't even agree to their 98 out of 100. That is a society which we are living in. We are living in a competitive society. To reduce these 3 things, we just need one thing to be in our mind. You know what? You have to be self-aware of yourself. You have to be self-aware. For this self-awareness, what are the things which would help you? Just 3 things. Again, you love eating, go eat. If you eat ice creams, you will feel happy, be happy. As the aeronautical engineer and an aerospace engineer, he is work towards fitness. He loves fitness, he will do fitness when he is depressed. So there will be a change of mind when you are depressed. Second thing, talk to somebody. Your friends, your relatives, your parents, anybody. People who don't judge you. Or you don't judge them, let them take whatever you say. It's another way. Third thing, exercise every day, at least for 45 minutes. Just a walk, just a run, just some cardio exercises. And exercise men, brains work 10 times higher than a normal human being. It's a research. Exercise every day so that your brain becoming more active, so that you walk accordingly. So simple task. Be aware of yourself. To be aware of yourself, you just have to talk, do what you like, and exercise every day. How's the Josh?
High, sir.
Keep it high so that you never get depressed. All the best for your all depressed and enthusiastic year ahead. Over to the table.
One takeaway that I'll have from this speech is now I have another reason why I should start exercising and not keep on delaying like I do every day. Okay. Other than that, what I really liked about this speech was at least it increased the Josh that has in all of us. That's great, right? How's the Josh?
High, sir.
That's cool. I always wanted to do that. So, other than that, we'll move on to our next speech. Our next speech is by our Vice President Education. He is leading a big team in a big firm. He knows a lot about how to be a leader, and we are very, very lucky that he shares some of his wisdom with us at times when he brings his unique flavor, especially to table topics. Can we have up on the stage Toastmaster Amitabh? Toastmaster Shweta, your evaluation is being done by Toastmaster Shweta.
Fine, all. So this project focuses on helping you to develop and support your viewpoint and identify the most appropriate type of persuasive speech of your topic. So you will be evaluated on the basis of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen. And fellow Toastmasters. So, let me ask, have you used Nokia phones?
Yes.
How many of you used Nokia phones? A lot of people. Let me ask another thing, how many of you are still using Nokia phones? What is the reason? Let me tell you, in 2003-2004, Nokia was capturing 70% of market in the mobile industry. And right now the market is just 10% for Nokia. So 70% to 10%. Why it is being changed? What were the reasons? So my topic for today is bounce back. So how Nokia was leading telecom industry, 70% stake, how they become 10% and how they are bouncing back again in the market. So Nokia started in 1865 in Finland. They were leading manufacturer as well as they were providing the services in three primary sectors. One was consumer electronics, information technologies, as well as communication. So these were three sectors where they were providing their services. So Nokia was doing pretty well in 1865 till 1980s, and they were very less competitor when I compared with Nokia. 1982, they came up with first little heavy mobile phone that was having a weight of 10 kg, and they acquired a company called Movira. So they named the name of the instrument called Nokia Movira Senator in 1982 that was having a weight of 10 kg. 2 years later, they came up with a lot of innovation and they invented a new phone with 5 kg and they named Nokia Nokia, this Townman. With Townman they came, and then 2-3 years later they came back with another mobile phone with Cityman model. In 1991, Finland Prime Minister used the first GSM code using Nokia phone. Till 92 to 94, Nokia was innovating a lot of mobile, and they were trying to establish a lot of phones, and they came up with 1100 series in the market. Around 1994, they were able to change Motorola, and they were able to capture 25% of the market. After they were trying to get a lot of sales as well. They are trying to become like lot of new orders. So they were expecting around 25 million mobile phone that can be sold from 94 to 99. But in fact, they were able to sell it off around 250 million phones. So 40 million to 250 million mobile devices. So it was a big change for Nokia. So when they were like having a lot of growth in the business, on the other hand they were trying to hire a lot of manpower, trying to establish a lot of manufacturing unit, and they were trying to acquire a lot of new business. In 2004-2005, they were able to capture around 70% of market in the mobile industry. As well as they came up with Nokia 1100. That is what most of the people who are in 35-40 they may have used in 2000-2004 is Nokia 1100 as the Nokia 1200 mobile devices. In 2008-2009 around, then Apple and Google entered the market, and that was the one when Nokia could not able to cope up with the situation. Google started with Android, and Apple came up with moreover Apple devices with iOS platform, and they were able to get more and more in terms of the application, delivering a lot of value to the customer. Like Apple came up with around 300 applications, while Google came up with 125,000 applications, while Nokia was giving only 20,000 applications. So they were trying to have how they can capture more market and try to build customer-centric position in the market. But what happened, they were not able to sustain in the market, and they thought management team itself is not doing fine, and they fired the CEO and got another CEO called Stephen Eloff. He joined Nokia, but he was having a different purpose. He wanted to merge Nokia with Microsoft. That happened in 2013. So even after merging Nokia with Microsoft, they were not able to sustain in the market, and they were trying how they can have customer application as well as more having potential in the device, but it didn't happen. Around 2014, Satya Nadella joined Nokia, and first thing he told Nokia is the big failure for Microsoft is a big failure for Nokia, and we should get rid of this acquisition of Microsoft. So Satya remove this one Nokia from their portal, because he consider their core is not mobile phone. Their core competency is something else. So then it went to HMD Global, and they are trying to do good thing in HMD Global in the last quarter, Q1 2018, last 2-3 quarter, they sold 21 million of mobile phones. So what I mean to say that why I am taking Nokia case study just because of one person, because of one reason is it is not something like you fail, but you can bounce back. Nokia failed, but still they came back, and right now they are doing pretty good in the market. If right now their still is 10%, that can increase over the period of time. But if you lose the confidence, if you lose that you can't do it, you cannot bounce back. So always you can bounce back irrespective of whatever, whether you fail or you are not failed. With this, I will close my speech. Thank you.
As Amitabh said, some time ago we all were using Nokia phones and now none of us are. The only thing that is permanent is change. How many things have changed? In last 2004 I was in 4th standard. And now how things have changed. But that's what I was trying to say. There was another, when we talk about change, the question that comes is change good or is it bad? Should we accept this change or should we stay back to the good old days that we have? This is one thought I'd like everyone to ponder upon, and we'll discuss over it if we get time. But there's another point I read. It said that people change. We should not be afraid of change, because 15% change in a person is more than enough to help him adapt to the life as it is coming. Do you think 15% change is enough for us to adapt to the life that is coming to us? Moving on to the 4th speech, we have an amazing artist. She has a YouTube channel of her own. You should follow her. She is an amazing dancer. You should ask her. She can dance for you as well. And she's an amazing player in Mortal Kombat. I trust you, she'll defeat anyone who plays her in Mortal Kombat. Can I please call upon the stage the president of Sarjapur Road Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Drishti. Toastmaster Drishti. Can we have the evaluator of Drishti, Toastmaster Drishti?
Good evening, everyone, and Toastmaster Drishti in particular. Please note that she is attempting her first project in level 2 of Innovative Planning Pathways journey. The project is about understanding leadership style. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Timer, please note, the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Violent waves crashing on my ship. It was thundering and lightning as if the heavens had exploded. I ran out of my cabin and saw catastrophe all around me. Captain, we have a hole below hull water. We need to fix it. I rolled my orders above the crashing waves. And then I saw my fellow comrade, my fellow sailor going overboard in water. I couldn't let my fellow comrade drown. So I grabbed a rope and jumped after him. He was flailing for help, and with extreme labor, I tied the rope around his waist. He got up. He got on the ship. But then there was a violent jerk, and I fell overboard again. This time, as soon as I hit the cold water, I saw my mother holding a bucket of water, shouting at me to wake up on the Sunday after. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Yes, it was a very heroic dream, but I would like all of you to tell me what were the qualities that I exhibited as the captain of the ship.
Courage, resourcefulness.
Well, courage, calmness, tactfulness, strength, sacrificial. Yes, all those qualities make up a leader. But there is one secret ingredient for each and every person here who makes a true leader. For you, it could be anything. For me, it is the capability to believe in yourself. Let me tell you another story of a little girl. She was meek, she was very shy, and she was bullied because she used to stutter while speaking. She thought that she needs to persevere to fix this because people will keep on attacking her. She persevered in her high school and became the head girl of the school. She went to college. She saw the tyrannical administration. She wanted to change it. So she besieged people to help her out. Nobody would budge. She was also suspended for 2 weeks and it broke her morale into pieces. But then she realized that giving up is never an option. So she became the president of her literary society, voicing her own opinions. Soon she became the powerhouse of her college. Currently, she is the president of Sarjapur Toastmasters. Yes, I might sound a little self-absorbed at this moment, but trust me, fellow Toastmasters, my fantasy is incomprehensible when it comes to leadership. It is a novelty to me. But for my self-confidence and to be a competent leader, this is one story that I keep on repeating every single day to become a competent leader. Everybody says that lion is the king of the jungle. But do you know who actually runs the forest? A pack of wolves. Do you know the sole reason that a pack of wolves run the forest is because they are united. It's because they run together. One finger won't hurt you, but 5 fingers pack a whole lot of power in a punch. A pack of wolves has a leader, an alpha. That is what we all desire to be, to lead our pack, to protect it, to become the best. But the apple of discord remains. We believe that we can become a good leader if people follow us. But the truth is, before making others follow us, before being a leader to our peers, we need to conquer our own fluttering consciousness. In 1930s, a lady can be seen dragging her son in scorching heat to Sabarmati ashram. She goes and beseeches Mahatma Gandhi. My son will not stop eating sugar. All the ration is going to his petition to eating sugar. Mahatma Gandhi asked for a week's time and asked her to come back after a week. A week later, when the lady comes back again, Gandhi says in a very authoritative tone, "Child, you won't eat sugar from now on." The meek child nodded his head, and the woman just scowled. "You asked us to come in this unforgiving heat just for that?" To which Gandhi replied very calmly, "Forgive me, mother, but before I could ask your son not to eat sugar, I had to stop my habit before I reached the same." Dear fellow Toastmasters, there is a thin line between a leader and a tyrant. A leader will work each and every day, day and night, to make himself better, to become a better version of himself. But the tyrant doesn't know it all. He thinks he knows it all. To be a true leader, first you need to believe in yourself, and then only people will have faith in you. You can be a prime minister, you can be a CEO, you can be the president of a club, or you can be the captain of a ship. But the truth is, you can only become a true leader when you believe in yourself that you can lead your future into an effulgent path. In a community that is always trying to make something out of you, being your own boss is something that is called a real accomplishment. To laugh often, to earn the respect of intelligent people and affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and to tolerate the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the good in everything, to make this world better, either by a garden patch or a redeemed social condition. In the end of the day, when you know that one single life has breathed easier because of you, is to become a true leader. Over to you, Toastmaster.
I need to build my self believe a little more. That went away. Listening to such a great speech by Toastmaster Drishti. But that is so true. To make even one life easier to breathe is to become a good leader. That lifts loads of our back, of our shoulders, isn't it? It's easy. If we help others, we can be a good person, we can be a good leader, we can lead a successful life in itself. Thank you, Toastmaster Drishti, for the amazing words. And with this, we come to an end to a prepared speech section. And we move on to this highly interesting section called Take the Topics. I have a small incident that happened to me this Friday. I went for an interview. During the interview, the interviewer just suddenly asked me, I'll give you a topic to speak upon, and you speak for 1 minute on it. For normal people, this could be quite threatening. But being a Toastmaster since last 1 year, this actually was one of my comfort zones. In fact, I was sad because that he only said for 1 minute. Now, that becomes smaller than the official Toastmaster timings. And to conduct this amazing session that can help you in interviews and other scenarios in your life, we have a person who joined us 1.5 months back, and believe me, he has taken up every role possible in this last 1.5 months, and not only taken that role, but performed it in utmost conviction. You'll realize what I'm talking about when he comes up on the stage. Can we please have up on the stage Toastmaster?
To some extent, he took the limelight away. For me, there was also an interview story. My story was not similar to his because I joined